working through mistakes and frustration. Every person is bound to make a mistake or experience frustration at some point within their lives, with many people making mistakes and facing frustration on a pretty regular basis. The two are part of life, but if we don't learn to navigate mistakes and frustration properly, we run the risk of those mistakes and frustrations defining who we are and overtaking us. So, how do we navigate mistakes and frustrations in a way that helps us rather than harms us? A major reason why making mistakes proves to be so frustrating for so many people is because of the way making mistakes is typically framed. Society seems to push the narrative that making mistakes is bad and is a proof of intellectual inferiority. However, that is not at all the case. Mistakes are in fact a great foundation to build on, and if we reframe the way we think about making mistakes as positive, we'll be able to better manage and cope with it when it happens. Responding. Emotions are powerful, and it is a completely normal emotional response to react to mistakes or challenges with frustration, avoidance, and even fear. However, properly acknowledging and channeling these emotional responses is essential if one aims to grow from the experience. Negative emotions that arise due to mistakes and frustration should be acknowledged but not avoided. Once the emotions have been acknowledged and released, there is clarity of mind needed to channel these emotions for the good. Rather than responding with panic and frustration, one can actually learn from the experience of making a mistake or failing and then improve upon their skill set based on what they have learned. This learning can be applied to future situations and help one evolve and increase their intelligence. Researchers with the Baycrest Center for Geriatric Care determined in a series of studies that trial and error actually helps instead of hinders learning. This serves as confirmation that making mistakes can, in fact, be an asset. Flexibility and creativity. Continually operating from a place of flexibility and creativity will prepare you to be able to manage mistakes and frustration well. Those who are flexible tend to respond to sudden changes and risks with an optimistic attitude and the ability to adapt to new situations. Those who operate in a continual state of creativity tend to approach unfamiliar or challenging situations with determination and excitement to learn from their experience. It may seem like a contradiction to say that you should plan ahead after the previous section about being flexible, but listen in and you'll see why it makes sense. Plan to make mistakes. When you enter into a process or a situation, knowing ahead of time that you may make an error, you won't overreact when you actually do. Having planned for such a thing to happen, you're now emotionally prepared to cope with what has happened and move forward. And in the rare instance that you are able to execute a plan without any errors, you will have the satisfaction of knowing that you did much better than you intended to perform. Mistakes are not cause for dismay. Instead, mistakes should be valued and celebrated for the knowledge that they provide. When we are able to understand that mistakes don't define us, we can embrace the chances that they offer us to develop more skills and more knowledge. And in doing so, we can continue to mature and learn as we grow.